All right, so this is the rest of our series on how to use Chapter 8 of Math for the People in order to gather the data you need. So here is how we get there. You can just put Math for the People in any search bar, click through to the Stevenson University file here, and we want to click right above, click the icon above where it says textbook to get us into the book. And again, we're working in Chapter 8. Racism and Policing, and we have done a video about the code boxes in 8.5 if you want to look back at that, and we've done exercise 6 and also talked about the code boxes in section 8.7. So we're going to finish this out by going to the exercises, and the other exercise that uses code boxes is number 7. So in here, we've in the other two videos we saw that we were working with data from Hartford and Philadelphia. There is data from all of these other cities as well available to us. So let's take a look at what's being created as we look at this first code box here. So again, whenever we see the red script, we know that we are loading in the data for a particular city and we are labeling it with the name of that city. So this is Hartford's data being loaded in. And again, once we click the evaluate button, that's when that happens. It doesn't happen ahead of time. All right, and then what this is going to do then is going to print a table of everyone who has been pulled over in Hartford by race. And then we also are going to print a table of who by race has been cited after being pulled over. So they receive an actual ticket for being pulled over for whatever it was they got pulled over for, okay? And then we're going to create a bar plot of the pullovers by race in Hartford. So that's just the general category of who got stopped, okay? So let's just click the evaluate and watch that happen. So again, we're loading in Hartford's data. Here is your general, how many people got pulled over of each race in Hartford. Here are the people who got cited or not. And again, if we add these back together, we will see that comes up to the total of people who were stopped, because everyone who is stopped either gets cited or they don't. And then when we come down here, we've got a bar graph of how many people of each race were pulled over. So that's a bar graph of this top information here, okay? So again, that's Hartford, and we've kind of seen that before in other places as well. The new thing that we are including here is the citations. Now, all of the things that we've looked at before can also be pulled into this. If we wanted to know this information about Hartford, we could change this citations to contraband or to search frisk. Okay, those things were also available to us in the data set, and you could swap out race for the other categorical variable of sex if you were interested in those breakdowns. Okay, but for right now, we're interested in creating this same information for some other cities. So let's watch. Let's just say we wanted to look at Madison, for instance. So we can, where we see Hartford being called for in all these different places, we can change that to Madison. Now I want to show you what happens when I click evaluate here. I've asked for Madison in all the different places, but I'm getting an error, and the reason is I did not load Madison's data yet. In this box, all we're doing is loading Hartford's data. So right now I'm trying to ask the computer for data it does not have yet. So in this this exercise 7, it lists all these other cities. We have to scroll all the way down to the next box, so the last box here. Notice that each of these lines here is going to load in the data for another city. And here, if you look at line number 6, that's the data for Madison. If I click evaluate on this box, I'm going to ask it to load all of the data for all of those cities into my computer. So if I want to scroll back up after I've loaded this box, I can ask for the data for any of those cities. Now you'll notice it takes quite a long time to load in the data for all the cities. So if you knew that you wanted only 1 or 2 of these cities, you could delete the lines that did not pertain to what you want. Now, when it's finished, it will print these series of 1s here at the bottom, and you'll know then that your computer has access to all these data sets now. So if I go back up where I wanted Madison data, okay, and I evaluate now it is able to tell me what the data looks like for Madison. So here is all the people who were pulled over for Madison. Here are the people who were cited or not cited by race. And here's the bar graph of everyone who was pulled over, broken down by race. Okay, and again, you can swap out any city that you want in these 4 spots now that you've loaded that bottom box where all of the data now is available to you. And again, if you want to save a little bit of time, it's not a lot of time, you could delete the ones you weren't interested in. Okay, And so again, as you go up here, then now you can swap in any city name that you would like in these calls for data to be printed and made into tables. Again, do not change any of the lines with red script, or you will be assigning a city's data to some other label other than the city it's for. So don't change any of that. Just change what you're asking for. Change these call cities here. And again, your availability, you have available to you the entire data set for that city. So if you're interested, instead of in race, if you're interested in sex, you could change these to sex. If you're interested in search frisk, or you're interested in contraband, instead of citations, you could change that here, and that would change what is output in your table. All right. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.